My son accidentally got his girlfriend pregnant, and his girlfriend is freaking out because she doesn't want kids and wants to go to college after they graduate high school, but her parents will make her carry this child to term and raise it if they find out, so she wants me to help her get a termination secretly. Posted by you/PayKit_throwaway. I made this throwaway because I'm always browsing this subreddit anyway, so I figured I'd ask a big question while I was here. My 44F son, I'll call him James, 17M, has a girlfriend, who will be called Mary, 17F. They've known each other since they were children, have been inseparable ever since. They used to play on the playground together, and our families are very, very close. Mary's mom is a very nice lady. She's very religious, their whole family is except for Mary, but she's never let that get in the way of our friendship. She understands I'm an atheist and so is my son, and has never said anything bad about it. A few weeks ago I fell asleep on the couch while James and Mary were in James' room. I want to make it clear that I've been teaching James sex ed, and sometimes Mary when she needed lady advice her mom felt uncomfortable giving, from a young age. I let them know that experimenting is okay, just wait until you're older. This was when they were about 13. Now they're both 17, and I'm not entirely comfortable with them trying things out, but I know I was a teenager once. They're in high school and graduating soon. They're going to be trying things out. Anyways, they tried things out while I was asleep in the living room. They both knew they weren't allowed to have the door closed, and Mary had to leave by 11, but I fell asleep. James' father isn't in the picture. He left when he was a small boy. So, even though they swear they used a condom, James was in a tizzy. He even offered to prove it to me by showing me the condom. I'll admit I did look into his trash, and it does look like one was used and discarded. Mary is now pregnant. She was never one to have kids, she always said how she never wanted them, much to her mother's disapproval. James isn't a child guy either. Maybe one day, but definitely not now. She says she can't tell her mother or father, and I completely understand why. They would make her carry the baby to term and raise it. Mary has colleges picked out, she's been saving for it all her life. She does not want a child. And since she found out so early, she and James sat me down and asked me if I could drive them to a termination clinic if they made the appointment. I asked Mary if her parents knew, she said no. She doesn't want them to know. She never wants them to know. They'll shame her, and even though I said her mother is a nice lady, I could see them kicking her out. So, I told them I would think about it. I'd be taking a child that isn't mine to get a termination, but of course it affects my son's life, too. And mine as well. James has been crying every night about it. What do I do? Admittedly, if I were her age, I would do the same thing. I just have absolutely no idea. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. What do I do? Be effing proud that you have a son who is responsible, and deals with issues when they present. Be effing proud that he can come to you with his girlfriend when they F up and ask for your help. Be effing proud of the man your son is becoming. They're asking you to help them do what they need to do. Make no mistake, they haven't come to this point on a whim. Even if you tell them that you will give them a ride to another nice city for a lovely day out, and meet them in the evening pretending you don't know where they've been, you can't set them adrift on this. Commenter 2. Yes, you should. This is an important, life-altering decision which she is responsible for. She made her choice. Forcing her, like her parents, or turning your back on her when they came to you for help would be wrong. There are risks to this, such as her throwing you under the bus if her parents found out. But that temporary fallout is worth more than a lifetime of responsibility they didn't want. While there, look into getting her birth control options beyond just condoms. You may not be her mother, but her mother isn't looking out for her best interests or needs. Do what you know to be right. Update 3 days later. A very short update to be sure, but the last few days have been hectic. I looked at every single one of the 300+ replies and took each one to heart. I live in Canada, which I really should have mentioned. Some of you were concerned that I would go to jail for this, and I can safely say that, no, I won't. That being said, I decided I'm going to take her. There is no age limit here, she just needs to be old enough to understand the risks and things, and sign the paperwork, which she's able to do. I talked to the doctor for her over the phone. She has anxiety and this has been completely ruining her, so I had to talk for her, and they said she'll be there for a few hours before she can go home. The appointment is this Friday, since there was a supposed cancellation, and the nurses were so helpful and understood the situation. I told her mother I was taking her out to see the mountains this weekend with James, and that we'd be back Sunday. Her mother was very excited about it and said it would be good for her. Mary is an introvert, her and James like playing online games. They both hate camping, lol. I am fully ready to help her the night we come back to my house. I just need to look online, and maybe some of you can help. For how I can help her. I know this is going to be very traumatic for her. My son has been taking it better since he knows for sure she's getting a termination. He's still worried and very supportive for her, which I couldn't be more proud over. This has clearly brought them together. They have barely had a day go by where they aren't seeing each other. As for after all of this, I plan on talking to the counselor at their school. I will not tell them the situation. I just want to know the confidentiality rule. I'm unsure if Mary will be able to talk to them without them going and blabbing to her parents. If they 100% will not tell her parents, and I'll make them sign a contract or something not to. I swear, then she's going to be spending time with them. I'm not trained for something like that, and I know she's going to need all the support she can get. I'll update you all after the appointment if you'd still like it, or if something bad happens, God forbid. Thank you all so much for your help and advice. I would have been too much of a chicken crap to do anything on my own. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. Hey, you are an awesome person. Just a word of caution, you should speak with Mary first about going to the school counselor. She might not want to speak with him/her about this. Ops response. I have spoken to her, and she agrees she should. At first she was sort of I don't feel different about it, but as time goes on, I think she realizes she has a fetus growing, and she's getting some panic attacks here and there. Thanks for the concern, and for saying I'm an awesome person teehee. Commenter 2. It's great that you're helping them. Just make sure they have enough specifics to say about their mountain trip to be convincing. Keep an eye on the weather. Be sure to take some scenic photos to have in case they ask. Make sure her clothes are a bit dirty. Their probable attitude might be sure it was beautiful but not much interesting to do, and a bit too uncomfortable to sleep well whatever. I get that it will be upsetting, and this isn't at the forefront of your mind, but your last post made it clear that this can never ever come out, so go through what you have done on your trip before Sunday. Ops response. I'm definitely going to take this into account. We all decided we would talk about it on the weekend after, and Mary will text James if she tells her parents a detail they might bring up later. Really smart though, thanks for reminding me. I'll set a reminder on my phone for it. Commenter 3. As a teacher, I have to say there's an extremely high chance the school counselor will contact the parents. If confidentiality is a concern, then look outside of the school system. Even where they aren't obligated to report/contact, they very frequently do based on their own judgment, and they could easily change their mind about whatever they told you later. It's often a cause of upset for kids. Ops response. This is what I feared. I have 10 free therapist visits provided from my work, something about how it was added to my insurance, so I will absolutely let her use them, and then when she needs more, I'll work hard to help pay for it. For the therapist, she plans on telling her parents that school and things are getting heavy on her. Second update 3 months 2 weeks later. It's been a long time, and to be completely frank, it's because I forgot all about Reddit until I was reading the other night. I figured I should give all of you wonderful people an update. I say wonderful because you've helped in more ways than you could imagine, r/relationships. I mean, I did get an awfully lot of pro-life-ers in my inbox, but when you don't see eye to eye, there's just no arguing with people, right? Anyway, I did end up taking James and Mary to the clinic. Well, sort of. I couldn't exactly bring myself to do it, so I drove them to the mall in the center of town, which is near the clinic, and dropped them off so they could walk there. It was very emotional, and I told them I would be by later to pick them up. By the way, some of you asked if I would be there, and that's a no. Mary and James both turned 18 by the time the appointment came along, and frankly, I don't think they wanted me there anyway. I'm a very worried mother, what can I say? I ended up driving around a lot. I drove past the clinic, which thankfully had no protesters out. I was worried about that the most. And did some shopping. I bought Mary some track pants at Discount Town. I don't think I can say the name of companies on here. I'll call it that, because she only had jeans packed. I figured she might be a bit uncomfortable afterwards, and I didn't want her in her pajama pants all day. I picked them up later that night and took them home. Mary's parents did think we were camping near the mountains. Some of you figured out which province I'm in because I mentioned that, and they never even texted her. Apparently, they were busy doing house renovations anyway. By the time the weekend was over, Mary did have to go back home. And she was still in some pain, but she claimed it was manageable. She told her parents she just had food poisoning, and they didn't even question it. But now I think they think I'm a crappy cook? Everything's been normal? I don't feel regret. Mary's okay, and James is getting a crate of condoms for Christmas. Not actually low. They said they would be a lot safer, and Mary is looking into more birth control options. Everything went better than I could have hoped. I kept expecting her mother to kick down my door and ask what the hell I was doing. But nothing happened. Also, Mary has been seeing a therapist. She has some other issues other than the termination. She has slight depression, so she's getting help with it. She says she'll tell her parents one day, but not anytime soon. She's not comfortable with it. Honestly, I don't believe it myself. I guess all we can do now is move on. Thank you for all your help. Honestly, most of the comments were extremely helpful. Thank you, Reddit. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. Congrats on being an awesome person, you really did a huge solid for both this girl and your son, and they won't forget it. Everyone makes dumb mistakes when they're young, but it's great parents like you who help their kids successfully find solutions and prevent future oopsies. Commenter 2. You know, whatever happens to Mary, whether she stays with your son or whether they find themselves in other relationships down the track, she will never ever forget that you supported her when she needed it most. It's really sad that Mary couldn't turn to her own parents, but you stood up and were there for her and looked after her. Not only that, but it sounds like this has inspired Mary to get help with her other issues. So honestly, you are the best thing that's ever happened to this girl. Well done.